when you do a good deed, it affects them that they also want to do a good deed. Let me share with you a story about a chaplain. His name is Philip Zimmerman. He was a chaplain at an army base in Georgia. And this is during the Korean War. One Friday night, a distraught serviceman came to him with 3 envelopes. And he shared with the chaplain how concerned he was. In the one envelope was a transfer, a notice of transfer, that he's going to be transferred to Korea to the battlefield. The other 2 envelopes were letters from his parents' cardiologists. His parents were elderly and they were not well. And the cardiologist wrote that your parents' health is very frail. And this serviceman, this soldier, turned to the chaplain and says, I am so concerned about being deployed to Korea because my parents' health is so frail. If they hear the news, it could affect them. It could even kill them. Please, chaplain, can you please talk to the commander and ask them if they could change my orders so that I do not get deployed to war, just for my parents' sake. I would love to serve the country, but I feel so concerned about my frail elderly parents. The chaplain, Philip Zimmerman, told the serviceman, let me see what I could do. This was Friday night. The chaplain, who was a traditional Jewish observant, does not ride on the Sabbath. So he began the 7-mile walk to headquarters. He walked the 7 miles. He arrived at the general commander, and he explained to him why he's there, and explained how Joey Young, the serviceman, received notice to be transferred to Korea, but he also received notice that both his parents are very frail and not well, and he's worried that the news of their only child being deployed may kill them. Please, can you change the transfer? The commander looked at the chaplain and said, with all due respect, we are at war and we need every soldier possible. The chaplain said, I tried. I was hoping that you may be able to make a change. And the commander apologized, says, there's nothing I can do at the time of war. The chaplain bid farewell, and the commander walked with him to the door. And he noticed that the chaplain walked to an empty parking lot. There's no Jeep there. So he asked the chaplain, where's your Jeep? Chaplain says, well, I am Sabbath observant and we don't drive on the Sabbath. So he says, how did you get here? He says, I walked the 7 miles and I'm going to walk back now. The commander couldn't believe his ears. He says, you walked 7 miles to plead the case of a serviceman? And now you're going to walk back 7 miles? He was taken by the commitment, the dedication of what a giant good deed this chaplain did for a fellow serviceman. The commander was in awe and told him that you put out so much of yourself to help a fellow serviceman. So will I. I will have his orders transferred to the New York base, and I will put in that he is commanded to visit his parents every night. Chaplain Zimmerman walked back the next 7 miles with such elation, such joy, realizing what it means that one good deed leads to another good deed. When he set out on the 7-mile walk to try to plead the case of his fellow servicemen, he had no idea that that walk is going to affect the commander. It is because when another person sees, when you do a good deed, it affects them that they also want to do a good deed. And that is what our sages say. One good deed leads to another good deed. One mitzvah leads to another mitzvah. So every opportunity you have to do a good deed, don't just think about that specific good deed that you're going to do right now, but think about the greater picture. Think about the amount of goodness that you are introducing to the world. Think about the ripple effect that by you doing a good deed, you're going to cause others to do a good deed, and they will cause others to good deed. And so much good will be spread around because of your selfless and your understanding and appreciation of why you are here in the world is to do goodness and kindness to others, to do a mitzvah, because one mitzvah leads to another mitzvah. And the reward for your mitzvah is not only the good deed that you did, but all the good deeds that will come from it. God bless you. God loves you.